Hazard Pay is back on, baby. Hazard Pay is in the third stimulus package at $1,500 for individuals who made less than $25,000 during the pandemic. Who's an essential worker, though? In this throwback video, I explain who are essential workers, how do you get hazard pay, and what's the concept of hazard pay, at least under the HEROES Act. Enjoy this throwback video explaining essential workers and hazard pay.
Hazard pay heats up, but has Nancy Pelosi now become hazardous to hazard pay? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoon's LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. Saturday afternoon, we made it to the weekend. Congratulations. This is our afternoon session. That's 2-hour programming block. It starts every day with a check, then goes to hazard pay, then FPUC, and then rent assistance. Really shocking, great, and a little bit of like, are you crazy news today? And I'll be getting to it right away. First, really unusual developments about hazard pay out here in the West, and we really don't know the scope of the problem right now. But I know what you're about to say. The fires. The fires in California currently are literally out of control. Somewhere upwards of 400, 500 fires. LALATE usually reports an enormous amount of fire coverage, but because this channel is so large now, the coverage has been scaled back. But fires are out of control, and the governor of California has indicated that he does not have enough essential workers, to battle the fire. It's a lot of issues at hand, and it now calls into question what I've been reporting for weeks. Whether a lack of urgency of getting hazard pay approved will cause essential workers not to show up. Now, in the case of fires, we're not even talking about the hazard of coronavirus necessarily. We're talking about the hazard of fires, which also is involved with the issue of coronavirus. Firefighting is a little bit more complex than a normal story because it also involves prison inmates that often are called to duty to assist in fighting fires. Those prisoners are not available because of COVID-19 situations now. So there's that problem. The second problem is a lack of firefighters because of COVID-19. And the third issue, of course, is lack of hazard pay funding. What's really causing a concern with the firefighters and a frontline story, which I've been reporting for now several weeks, is what could happen as a lack of willingness by workers to take hazard pay jobs will happen in the fall. There was another report that came out yesterday, which I did not have time to go over, and I'll do it right now, which talked about parents who simply are deferring to returning back to work in the fall because they have to keep their children at home and they just can't afford to have nannies. A lot of parents have decided not to have their children in schools, to have them homeschooled, and those parents, by nature of their employment, cannot work at home. And when offered the ability to work at home, when asked if they can work at home, they're declined the offer by their employers. So they are sort of stuck in an environment as well. I have detailed the issue of there are some grant programs, but not enough money to certainly survive on, that you can be paid as a parent because you have to stay at home because of your child. There is some confusion, a little bit of lack of clarity of whether parents qualify for FPUC as well, or excuse me, PUA, if you have to stay home and take care of a child because of COVID-19 issues. But there's that. But the future of hazard pay really is front and center today. Today, what I'll be doing across all videos for this afternoon is I'm going to be really covering this nature and the update of where we are on a lot of things because there's so much false news. Hazard pay currently only has one bill behind it for purposes of voting, and that is the HEROES Act. It's currently in the Senate from the House. There's no hazard pay in the Republican plan. There has never been a hazard pay bill in a Republican plan that is broadly accepted. The Romney plan is an enormously incredible program. It's such great news when we first saw it. It is written by Mitt Romney, who is, of course, a Republican out of Utah. It was introduced months and months and months ago, back in May. I've reported extensively. I adore it. The only thing negative about it is it's a little bit less money than the Democrat plan, but not a lot. I think it's like $6,000 versus $10,000. It's not a lot, but the great thing about the Romney plan is it says, hey, you have to pay essential workers. I mean, what are we doing, Republicans? You have to pay essential workers. You have to pay essential workers working earlier in the pandemic, still working in the pandemic, and going forward in the pandemic, which is really refreshing and great news to hear from a Republican. He's not the only person behind the bill, but I'm just saying that it was not a mainstream bill among Republicans. What's so incredibly great about the bill was it calls for current tense, that employers must apply for you. If you've watched my videos every day at 4 o'clock, Hazard Pay is always the second video on Afternoons LALATE. I talk about the importance of the nuance of who applies. It's the employer who applies for Hazard Pay. You can't apply. It is not yet law. It is not available for you to apply yet. A lot of people always ask me, can I go apply? It's not law yet. You can't apply. But when you can apply, when it is open for application, the employer applies, not you. And it's up to $10,000 on the Democrat plan, Romney about $6,000 based upon your 2020 hours, January up to the president, whether it's part-time, full-time, overtime, or anything like that. Romney plan is the same. Times the number of, times a supplement. Democrat is like $13 an hour. I don't remember Romney. I think it's a little bit less, but not a lot less. And then you get a number. Democrats say if you got to the $10,000 threshold, bam, that's yours. If you made $100,000 or less last year, Romney says, I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 based upon a lower hourly rate. But I mean, as we sit here now, what is the likelihood of Hazard Pay being approved? If you watch the video before this, which I hope you do, if you didn't go right before and watch it, that's our 3:30 Afternoons LALATE video, the one with the red head and the blue background. Watch it, because Nancy Pelosi is really not wanting to do anything that dissects, separates, cuts apart her heroes bill. Now, she was asked about why she wanted to do a standalone bill, and she talked about everything that she needs to protect in a big bill. Once again, she didn't mention Hazard Pay. I don't know how many weeks I can go without people talking about Hazard Pay who wrote the bill about Hazard Pay. She has talked about it, I think, 2 times in a week and a half. Needless to say, there's some really incredulously confusing and inaccurate reporting out there. And because this video is always so well watched, I want to do it in this one. What is the current status for the second stimulus check this Saturday? And I want to jump right at it. Not to be disrespectful to anyone, but elsewhere, I'm just going to say it that way, elsewhere, there are some insanely false reports about what's going on today, this Saturday. If you watch and subscribe to LALATE, you know these are untrue reports. But if you don't, you need to subscribe. And you will find out right now why they're so inaccurate. Here is what's being horribly inaccurately said elsewhere. A person said the following. There's just one person saying all these remarks, and I'm going to respond to each of them. The person first said today that Nancy brought the House back today only to vote on a stimulus package today. Untrue. Only? No. Untrue. She didn't bring them at all back to vote on a stimulus package. She only brought them to vote on a postal service bill. And there was discussion about maybe they would talk about stimulus, but she didn't bring them back for stimulus. And then she didn't bring them only back for stimulus either. I mean, this is just insanely bad reporting. And I got to tell you, the person who put this out did it again just hours later. That's the first thing. Next, the same person said it's unusual. The same reporter said it's unusual to know what they're voting upon with us not seeing the bill today. And true, we have seen the bill, Earth to Mars. We have seen the bill. It's the Karen Maloney USPS bill. Remember Caroline, Sweet Caroline with Neil Diamond? Not that Caroline, but the other Caroline, the one out of New York, Chuck Schumer's buddy. She wrote the bill. I held it up on screen, 4 or 5 days ago. Remember, it was a one-page bill. Yeah, that one. It's unusual to not know what they're voting about when we've not seen the bill. Need new glasses? That's why you can't see it. The same person. There's speculation on what else could be in this bill. Speculation? No. It's one page long. You can download off the internet, as I did 5 days ago. It's in the congressional record. If you don't know as to bills, if you have nothing else to do in your work life, just download some bills from Congress. You're not reading the new the new Oprah book or the new Michelle Obama bill, then just download some bills, congressional bills. You go to the congressional record and they're all bills. When you write a bill, it doesn't just sort of like float in the air as it does with Mitch McConnell. Literally, no, I'm not exaggerating. Mitch McConnell with his skinny bills that never circulate. I mean, we spent the entire 5 days saying, there's not a Mitch McConnell skinny bill. It has never been produced. It's never been introduced to the House. It's never been introduced to the Senate. It's never been put on a piece of napkin. It's never been put on a cocktail wafer. It's never been on smoke signals. So if there's a bill, you can go download it. So there's speculation on what else could be in this bill. No, it's one page about the post office. The person then went on to leave more. Perhaps this exact bill would include your $1,200 stimulus checks. Perhaps. And perhaps Nancy's going to braid Steve's hair today. Perhaps Nancy's going to remember Mark Meadows' name. Whatever his name is, as she said at the press conference today. Maybe Nancy will meet and talk with Donald Trump, which she hasn't done in a year and a half. Anything's perhaps, but perhaps this exact bill would include your $1,200 stimulus checks. The Easter Bunny saying, hello, here I am, perhaps I'm here. Goodness. I mean, we have Fox News, we have this, we have all that other stuff, and then Mitch's stimulus skinny bill, which I got to tell you, when we're trying to figure out whether we're getting hazard pay, when we're trying to figure out when do we apply for hazard pay, when trying to figure out how much is hazard pay and when would it become law, when would it be voted upon, that part is not difficult to understand. That part is really, I can do that in like 25 seconds if I talk really fast. But then we have all this other junk. And we have a week in which someone in Mitch's office leaked to press that Mitch is introducing a skinny bill. And the skinny bill will be less than $1 trillion. It'll come in at $500 billion, and it won't include stimulus checks. It won't include this, and it's going to drop Monday afternoon. Well, it's Monday afternoon. My watch, it's Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon wasn't there. Tuesday afternoon, not there. Wednesday afternoon, not there. Thursday afternoon, no. Friday afternoon, no. Saturday afternoon, no, it's not going to be released today either. So we deal with all this crapola in a given day, and we sort of wonder, is it being done to us on purpose? Are we having to deal with the hazards of waiting to hear about hazard pay, that we have to swim through this abyss of crapola that looks worse than like day-old, apple pie? It's just like, So as we sit here today, you're getting hazard pay if the law is passed. The question is, when is the law even going to be discussed? If you watched the video before this, Nancy Pelosi said these incredulous remarks that we're 47 days away from the election or 87 days away from the election, and her group of Democrats are getting ready for the January legislative session. Oh, you didn't watch that video? Yeah, she said she's getting ready for January to talk about stimulus. You need to be doing this. You need to be on Twitter. You need to be on Facebook, tagging her, tagging all the members of the House and the Senate, saying this is insanity. It really is. The great news, which I want to leave you with, is that pressure works. This channel is not partisan. And I know a few people, not a lot, like 10. We get what? 7,000 comments a day, 10,000 comments a day, and there's like 7. But there was like 7 comments in the last 24 hours that said, "Oh, this is just this is so pro-Republican because all you're doing is talking negative about Nancy." No, Nancy's the one that's dead center today. She's the one talking. Wednesday was trashing Mitch. Tuesday was trashing Mitch. Last weekend was trashing the president's executive order. I mean, we just covered it all. If something doesn't help the American citizens who need a standalone eviction moratorium, a standalone FPUC, and a standalone stimulus check, then we cover it. But you need to heap up the pressure. I know those incredible viewers of this channel who really are on top of hazard pay. I am with you. And I'm with you more than ever because I understand that hazard pay clearly is not an urgent thing this minute. And I don't want you to lose hazard pay because of all this urgency to get unemployment, stimulus checks, and eviction moratorium done right now. So I have you in my wishes. I'm not leaving you. As a personal note, thank you for bringing this channel to 200,000 subscribers last week. Really great honor. It's been an incredible run. Less than 4 months, about 3 months to get to 200,000 subscribers. Our new goal is to get to 225,000, to add about 25,000 subscribers in the next 2 weeks. So let's see if we can do this as a family. I'm making modifications. I hope you're making modifications. I hope our expectations and our focuses have changed. I hope you don't sit here today and think you're getting a stimulus check tomorrow. I hope you do understand you're getting a stimulus check. I hope you do understand you're getting an extension of unemployment benefits. I hope you do understand you're getting an eviction moratorium, but things take time. I'm here to empower you, to keep you informed, keep you positive, keep you motivated, keep you educated and informed. And I adore my viewers because you have gone from confused about what PUA and FPUC was literally 30 days ago, and now literally knowing like what state has approved LWA. I mean, look at that learning curve. It's just incredible. So if you don't understand anything in this broadcast, drop in the comments below and I will answer it for you. I'm here to answer and help you, empower you. So go to the Friends channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that alert button. I don't do fancy graphics. I just, do it with my hands. Here they are. It's like, Chuck Schumer defending Broadway. And coming up next is FPUC, LWA, and all that wonderful stuff. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay focused, and stay LA for more.